the single biggest problem facing the 45th Ward? And if you're elected, or be elected, Alderman, how will you address this problem? 90 seconds.
There we go. I don't think there's one single biggest problem. There's a number of things that we need to address. And those fall under 4 basic categories: economic development, city services, education, and public safety. And each of those intertwine together. And with that, I would say for economic development, there's definitely a need to make sure we have more businesses here in the ward, and not only in just one section of the ward, the entire ward. And what I would do to attract businesses is I would start a small business advisory that would consist of a member from each of the chambers and also local business members to see what they would like to contribute, because you know what, you do better in collaboration than you do as a single unit. And we also have a dedicated liaison in my office to help current businesses and anybody looking to come into the ward to help them navigate the system of getting permits and licenses that they would need, and also encourage them to take advantage of some of the resources that are available, either our tips, spiffs, things that are available to them. So with that, when you start strengthening what the economic development is, the rest of things come into play. More public safety, because more people are around, education, and for that, I would hope that that would help make a difference.
Thank you. Michael Diaz, single biggest problem in the 45th Ward.
Well, I think, and I preface this in my opening statement, I think it's pensions. And, you know, no matter what happens in the ward, no matter what opportunities we have in the ward, if our tax revenues go to service our pension debt, which is astronomical, well, forget about infrastructure investment, forget about economic development, forget about investment in education. So, but there's hope. And so, you know, what I propose to do is, you know, the 45th Ward should really be the ward in the city where if you want to build it, if you want to learn it, and if you want to deliver it, you can do so in the ward. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you know, let's talk about jobs. Now, if you guys go to pick up a reader, and there's a program called Kickstarter, which is funding entrepreneurs to invest in things, something I call, which is known as micro-manufacturing. These are entrepreneurs who have a business idea, they want to build something big and small, they can do that in our commercial spaces within the ward. We can do that right now. We need to work with our SBA folks, the banks that give SBA loans. We need to strongly invest our TIP dollars. And we must create and foster relationships with financial institutions. Also, let's look at how our schools are used. You know, what are employers claiming for today? We know that we have at least 8,000 manufacturing jobs that are yet to be filled. Let's use SURES, let's use TAP, let's use the Cristo Rey Jesuit model that's working on the south side for impoverished youth. Let's bring that over here to match our students with folks in the ward and businesses in the ward. Give them the skills they need.
Thank you. John Garina, single biggest problem in the 45th Ward.
Well, politicians generally, we come up with ideas of what we think are the issues, but where you really learn what those issues are going door to door. And all I hear all day long, every day as I walk, is quality of life issues. When you walk out your front door, are your streets paved? Are your curbs fixed? Are your trees trimmed? Is that dead tree that's in front of your house, is that taken down in a quick amount of time, because obviously it's a safety issue? Those are the things that people seem to be concerned about block after block after block. So I would say that that's probably the number one problem. We need to get back to the basics. Are our streets getting plowed? We need to reinstitute a way of resurfacing our roads and make sure that our infrastructure money is being allocated properly to take care of our neighborhoods. And then to follow up with that, it's also just community involvement. I think that's also lacking currently in our ward. Making sure that the community is involved in any and every project that's of significance, that's going to have a direct impact where you live. You should be involved in that process from the get-go. And I don't think that that's happening right now.
John Arena.
I'm going to agree with Mr. Diaz that the pension issue that is looming over us right now is the biggest challenge we have as a ward, as a city. The trickle down of that obligation is really what we have to focus on in these next 4 years. And I'll tell you, going door to door, you hear what people are concerned about. And I met a gentleman named Paul who was a Park District employee for 35 years. He retired a couple years ago and gets a modest pension, about $45,000 a year. He's taking care of an ill mother and living in a bungalow that he was born and raised in. The problem that we have is we have to honor the obligations and the promises that were made. These are folks that paid into a system. They honored their obligation to do the work, paid into the system, and the money's not there. If the money's not there for them, they're the heart and soul of the economy here on the Northwest Side. So you have folks like him who are already retired and have limited options in terms of generating revenue to keep their households going. And you have folks that are on the cusp of retiring that aren't going to be able to make changes in order to increase their retirement stipend. So we need to find a way to solve this problem, generate a revenue to cover the obligation, and do it in a responsible way that leaves property taxes as a very last resort.